shortly. And before that, on the phone right now, good friend Latricia Atkins with Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. She has the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, her and her husband, in Fashion Fair and also River Park. And it is the season for treats. And Latricia, that's what you've been doing, hustling all over town, and you have a bunch of corporate gifting just going crazy out the doors at Rocky Mountain Chocolate, right?
Yes. Good morning, Lance.
And you probably didn't get any sleep last night.
Probably like 4 hours.
That's it. She's like Santa's elf, and she's just running all over town. She's got the little curly shoes
Yeah.
and delivering and running all over town, delivering the big corporate gifts. This time of the year, is it one of the busiest times at Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory?
Yes. So this time, all the way up until Valentine's, is just madness.
That's madness, and it's getting ready. The big Black Friday is coming up, and producers Woody and David in the background. Linda's sitting in the studio, but I can't hear Linda. Just in case on our microphone, can't hear Linda, but we'll have Linda on here shortly. But Latricia, also with the two stores, so you serve. If you're looking for corporate gifts, so it's not only do you come in to get those incredible caramel apples, but you really come in there to be able to get the your corporate gifts. You can customize anything of those corporate gifts, correct?
Yes. So we've got baskets. To fit any price range. We can also do custom colors, custom themes, and we have boxed chocolates. If you're looking for something that's really custom, we can customize the sleeve to go on the boxed chocolates for with your company's name, the school's name, logo, whatever you desire.
I think I've seen one of those. So Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, I believe KC24, their gifts that are
Yes.
coming out have a sleeve. And it's a sleeve
Yes.
slides over. It looks like a customized box.
Wow.
Pretty cool, Linda,
Really
huh?
cool. Yeah.
Really cool. Latricia Atkins on the phone with Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory was many moons ago. She was in the 40 under 40. We're not going to say how many moons. But, and this year's class of 2019, Linda Barreto, Latricia, Linda, meet each other.
Hi, Latricia.
Hi, Linda. Nice to meet you.
I really
unofficially.
want to meet you now. I want some chocolate.
Yes. And that you know what I learned? And I was watching actually Latricia on KC24 with Central Valley Today, and I believe you're going to be on there today, you were saying, on Central
Yes.
Valley Today. But the broadcaster, the host of the show said, well, caramel apples, I don't need them because I don't want caramel to stick to my teeth. But what's cool about Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory's secret recipe is caramel doesn't stick to your teeth. Is that right, Latricia?
Correct. Yes, the caramel is just the right consistency, that it's not too chewy and not too sticky, so it's not going to stick into your teeth.
I can actually attest to that. Somebody gave me one of your cheesecake caramel apples, and it was so good, and it didn't stick to our teeth. My kids and my whole family loved it. It was delicious.
I love those cheesecake
They
caramel
were
apples.
so good.
One of my favorites is, and I've had the avalanche. Oh,
Oh, sounds delicious.
yes, it's everything. What is in an avalanche? I know Woody's smiling in the background over here, but what's in an avalanche, Latricia?
Well, the avalanche has marshmallows, Rice Krispies, chocolate chips, caramel apple, of course, and it also has peanut butter.
Oh, I can have a little taste of that once a year.
I bet. It
But I
sounds
love
so
it.
good.
I love it. I'd have it for dinner every night if I could. Latricia, thank you for calling in. I know you're busy. It's a corporate gifting time. It's that holiday gifting time. If you're trying to scramble to figure out what you're going to do, we're coming into Thanksgiving and you're trying to make a plan, you can call Fashion Fair or you can call the River Park store. Give them a phone number, Latricia, on the air right now. They get a pencil and a pen ready. If you can't figure it out and you need a solution, call Latricia with Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory, and Latricia and George can help you out. What's that number?
It's going to be 559-228-3150.
That's 559-228-3150. Get your treat on. Call Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. And later today, I guess at 3 o'clock, you can listen and watch Latricia on Central Valley Today with KC24 and see what exciting goodies she's going to have. Thank you, Latricia, for calling in.
Thank you, guys.
In studio, we're going to get to one of our current 40 under 40 members of the class of 2019, Linda Barreto. We mentioned at the top of the show you were with San Joaquin College of Law.
That's right.
And when you got the news that you were going to be in the 40 under 40, and let me explain to the listeners that are listening, what is the 40 under 40? I keep hearing about this thing. If you go to the website 40, the letter U, llu40.com, you can meet the class of 2019. And you're welcome to come out to what I call the ultimate networking event. It's a great event. I've seen businesses develop from honorees that have just met at the ultimate networking event, the 40 under 40. It's on December 5th, and you can go to that website, 40, the letter U 40. You can read about Linda Barreto and the rest of her class.
Yeah.
But when you got that news, Linda, what was it like?
I was actually in shock. I wasn't really sure what it was. I thought, is this somebody trying to sell me something? I'm not sure.
We get that every year.
Yeah. But after I logged on and I saw, that it's been going on for 10 plus years, I thought, wow, this is really cool. And I felt really honored and humbled that somebody took the time to nominate me and to think that I was worthy to be part of the Central Valley's 40 under 40. And so I'm really looking forward to the event, looking to meet the rest of my class in person and just get to celebrate with everybody the great things that are happening in the Central Valley.
It is truly, it's one of my favorite events, and I love to see the networking, connecting going on, and it truly, the mission statement of Business Street Media Group and BusinessStreetOnline.com has always been creating connections, and this event, the 40 under 40, really does that. It creates connections on multiple levels. I've seen classes that have formed after and went and granted a wish to make a wish and do amazing things. I was telling you on Facebook Live here on at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. You can see us live on Facebook right now with Facebook Live. And we were talking about classes that did that. They formed and wanted to do something a little special after they received the honor and the award ceremony of the 40 under 40.
Yeah, I hope that our class can get it together and do something cool like that too. I think it's so important to give back to our community and to just unite and be the best that we can be for our community. I think it's a great thing. So thank you for including me, and thanks for having me today.
No problem. And Linda, you're what you would call a valley girl. You came from
I
the
am,
valley.
Yeah.
You came from the valley, and you've hit some milestones. I saw that you came out of the first class at UC Merced when UC Merced first started.
Yeah, it was a great thing. I'm so happy with my choice to be a Bobcat and to be part of that pioneer class, as we call it. It was an incredible experience. And actually, a few years after me, my youngest brother also ended up at UC Merced and equally had an incredible experience. And I often go back and I do career chats with the current students or presentations about law school and about my current job. And it's such a special place for me. And I think it's so incredible that we have a UC so close to us and in the Valley. And I'm just humbled and honored to also be a part of UC Merced because it's doing also great things. And if I'm not mistaken, a medical school might be on the horizon there too. And so that's another
big stuff happening north of this area.
Things. Yeah.
Big stuff. And we have some incredible educational institutions here in the
Absolutely.
Valley. And I mean, you can't forget the Fresno State's just right down the road, and Fresno City, amazing community college, and UC Merced really came on real strong when they first launched, and you came out of that inaugural class, and they were doing big things. And I've only heard every year more and more coming out of the school, and graduates that are doing some big things. That former 40 under 40.
Right, and it's producing great talent. Actually, in the first class when we moved in, we had a quad as a dorm, and so in my quad, it produced a doctorate level librarian, a licensed marriage family therapist with Kaiser, and a general surgeon was my direct roommate. And so just from the four of us, we have that. And then, of course, I'm a practicing attorney and faculty at San Joaquin College of Law. And so just from our four group of girls, the amazing things that have happened there. And I really think that UC Merced is doing a great job of fostering and developing that talent.
Amazing. And I hear about it every year. And every year we go to narrow down the 40 under 40 class. I was talking to you before the show that our alumni committee, when we get to narrow down a class, we're always amazed what great talent just gets uncovered through nominations here in the Valley. And you think, wow, this person's really moving mountains. And, we just get every year another really good class.
Yeah.
And I don't want to forget, but we were mentioning some great education institution. I want to forget Fresno Pacific University because my good friends that have come on the show, Denise Baronian and Mike Black. And so great educational institutions. UC Merced, where Linda came out of, is really producing some great talent. We're going to take a short break, Linda, but we'll be right back. I want to get into how did you get involved with law? What led you to today, and what you're doing in your community. We'll be right back with more Business Leaders Live right here on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. We're still on Facebook Live.
Okay. Hi, Facebook.
I always remind everybody, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them there. David will help you out there. Oh, David's popping in. We need to get WD-40 on that door. All right, cool.
Good.
Cool. So we'll talk about how you got involved in law, and you've got a unique story. I actually want to talk to you about that story. I'll put this on Facebook Live.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a smart car.
Oh, do you?
So I go over by Fresno City. And as actually Gustavo used to run the board here.
Okay.
Young kid, and he used to walk to Fresno City every day after here in the morning and go to school. So I'd give him a ride a couple times, found out that he was on the wrestling team.
Oh, wow.
And I wrestled in school too. I was tournament wrestler, so I thought, I want to go check out one of your matches, let me know. So it took maybe a year and a half. Finally, I made one of his matches. So I zipped in there last minute, and I parked my little smart car, and I was excited because with the smart car, they're the width of a stall. You can actually put two in one stall.
Oh, wow.
And back in, and you put them up against the curb, and that's where Europe, where they came from. They were cut down on space. So I thought, oh, there's a spot right there. And I was excited because it wasn't big enough for a big car, but I can slide right in there, and I still have like 5 feet on each side for each car.
Wow.
So I backed right in, and I parked, and I ran inside and came out and had a parking ticket.
Oh, no.
Well, one, I parked in a permitted area in a residential area, which I know, 60-some bucks. Thank you, City of Fresno. The sign was so high, my car was short. I missed it.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, that's what. Then I read $43, not parked 18 inches to the curb.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, my tires are touching the curb. I'm backed in, and I clear even tighter than the other cars parked in front and behind me. So I thought, that's not right. Yeah, I'm taking up less space.
Absolutely.
How'd I get a $43 ticket on that part? So guilty on the other one. I didn't see the sign, but the $43, I have a feeling I can challenge that.
I think you can, and that's part of the reason why I got into law. I think you read my blog post,
You did.
right?
I read a piece about it, and I'm like, I got to talk to her about this.
I did, and I challenged the ticket that I got. Mine wasn't a parking ticket. It was a moving violation, but I decided to take it to court because I felt like it was not right and that I was cited improperly. And so I prepared, and I had diagrams ready and my evidence, and the judge agreed. I didn't even have to use my diagrams. The officer was there. I was hopeful that the officer wouldn't show up because then I would just win by default. But the officer explained his part, and I thought, no, he's still wrong. And
You held to your guns.
I did. And the judge said, I don't understand how this could have occurred. Both things couldn't have happened, and I tend to believe Miss Barreto because of the way that the intersection is, and so...
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody. We're in the studios here at Talk Radio 1680 KGED as I bring it to you every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., another edition of Business Leaders Live. You can catch this episode and other episodes by going to lancecardoza.com. That's LanceCardoza.com. And you don't want to miss the behind the scenes. So during the commercial break, you were getting a great story, and then the music kicked in, and we're back to radio. But in studio, I'm talking to one of our Business Treats, class of 2019's 40 Under 40 honoree, Linda Barreto. And Linda, you're with San Joaquin College of Law. And we were talking about, I read on, it was a blog, and David had provided to one of our producers here, it had provided that that's how you got involved with law, is you thought you were miscited. You weren't cited properly for the ticket.
Yeah.
And tell our listeners here on 1680, how'd that occur? What happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as a kid, I always thought I wanted to be a lawyer, but then you go into college and things kind of change. You're not sure you want to go and do another 4 years of school and go all the way to get a doctorate degree. But as I was driving onto the UC Merced campus, actually, I was cited by a police officer. And when the police officer pulled me over, I said, what happened? and it was actually a female officer. She said, you made a illegal left-hand turn. And I said, that's impossible, because if I wouldn't have stopped the way that you claim that I didn't stop, the oncoming traffic would have hit me. There was traffic going both ways. And so she said, well, you can fight it in court, but, I think you turned illegally, and so go ahead and come to court. So I did, and I was really hoping that she wouldn't show up,
So you would win by default if she
Right.
did show up. So she was
Right.
there. What was the feeling like when you walked in there and you thought, oh no, she's here?
Oh, I know. I thought,
Yeah.
well, I really just hoped that the judge would give me the opportunity to tell my side of the story and really look at both sides and try to evaluate that what could have occurred. Because logically, I couldn't see how I could have been cited for not making a stop on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the judge heard us out, and I had photos and diagrams ready that I didn't end up needing to use. He just took a statement from us both, and he told the officer, I just don't see how you claim that she couldn't have stopped and made a proper left-hand turn if there is oncoming traffic that doesn't have a stop. And so I would have been hit if that was the case. And so I got the ticket dismissed. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is great. I love talking to the judge. I love advocating for what's right. And I just thought that I had to go all the way and go through law school. I decided to stay local in the Valley and keep my practice here. So I've been practicing in the Valley ever since.
And it was an exhilarating, I guess, feeling.
It was.
That you probably stressed over it,
Yeah.
and you did the diagrams, and you knew what was right.
Exactly.
And you were fighting it. And I'm sure for your clients today, you feel the same way and
Right.
compassionate about you're fighting for what's right. And it's not to say that law enforcement are always wrong, but in some circumstances we're not perfect. No one's perfect, and these things happen.
Yeah.
And that's why we have the court system.
Right. And I always tell people that aren't really sure about my profession or about why I chose this profession. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm applying the law in the way that it was intended to be applied. And if that's favorable to our clients, then that's great. Wonderful. And if it's not, then we have to see if there's any mitigating circumstances or any other defense, essentially. And I really find that to be just a civil servant, because otherwise, in my profession at least, people aren't appointed counsel in the type of law that I practice. And so if they don't have an opportunity to have an attorney, they are much less likely to lose their case. And so I do find that it to be very important, and to educate people on the law and educate our community in what's happening in our community.
And do you find a lot of times too that the lack of maybe knowledge or education to it, that when an officer would say, well, you can challenge it in court, they're too scared.
Absolutely.
And they don't want to go there.
Yeah.
And don't know what to do first.
Absolutely. And then for some people, maybe they can't afford to take a day off of work. At that time, I was waitressing and I worked nights. And so I had the opportunity and the ability to go to court. But I can see a circumstance where you can't afford to take the day off of work, or maybe your boss won't give you the day off of work. And so you'd rather just pay the fine and do traffic school. Or you're just afraid to stand up to authority, or you may already think that the justice system is corrupt, and so you feel like it's a waste of my time if I go. But I can attest to the fact that it's not, and that there are still neutral fact finders that really try to look objectively at both sides, and I'm hopeful that we can continue on that trajectory.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times too is people just don't know their options. They're not
Absolutely.
sure that you can challenge. I was talking to you during our Facebook Live, and I encourage everybody, you got to go to Facebook Live
Yeah.
and make sure you post a comment and say hi to Linda and I. But if you go to @Talk Radio 1680 KGED, during the break, we were talking about a little incident I have, a little smart car I have, and I had been so excited. I was all in San Francisco on a little trip with my daughter, my youngest one, Zoe. We eventually, we used to go on these little trips. We throw a backpack on, jump on a train, don't take a car, and just go to a different city. And so she can find her way if she goes there on her own.
Yeah.
And we went to San Francisco, and I remember seeing this little smart car, and she remembers if she's listening right now. It was a little silver and black smart car. I was like, oh, I took a picture like I was hugging it. I just thought it was so cute.
Cute.
And it wasn't back then, but as I read about them and was looking at them, it was backed into a stall. When you didn't have too much room, you could back right into a stall. Or sometimes I saw two in one stall
Yeah.
in San Francisco and other cities as I traveled. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. One of these days I'm going to park that way. So I was driving and parked, and I got a ticket for being 18 inches away from the curb,
Yeah.
for it. So on that portion of the ticket, I did park in a residential community that you had to have a permit to park in. So that one I accept. I was, it was, that one's my fault.
Yeah.
But 18 inches of the curb, I was upset. Like, wait a minute, I've been waiting to park this way.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm curious what the law reads about that. And if you were in a motorcycle and you backed in, would you have to park parallel in the motorcycle? No,
Yeah.
as long as you were within the stall.
Right.
So that's almost how I consider it. So I'm wondering about that. So I was excited when I read your bio, and I thought, oh, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah, I think you should definitely challenge it. I mean, at best, you can get it dismissed. At worst, you may get a fine reduction. And so it's absolutely worth your time. And just to see how the courts, the traffic courts, work and function, and see if you can definitely get that removed. I mean, if it's everybody makes mistakes, nobody's perfect. And so it's quite possible that the citing officer didn't really understand what was going on there because
Yeah,
of the
I've never
nature
seen
of
it
the car.
before.
Right.
Yeah. And I want to know, can I park that way?
Yeah,
legally?
you don't want
Is
to keep
it?
getting
Yeah.
tickets.
Because if I have an opportunity, I'm backing that baby in there, getting that spot.
Yeah.
But so that was the idea for getting it, cheap gas, and I could zip around real quick when I'm running errands.
Yeah.
But so I was excited when I heard about that. So you get into law from finding a parking ticket. You go to UC Merced, and your life takes different changes. You get into law, and you decide that you want to be able to give back to your community and do something special.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to a little bit about that. So you get into law, and one of the things we look at for honorees that are going to be recognized in the 40 under 40 is the impact they make in their community as well. So you might be a civic leader, you might be an entrepreneur, a business owner that has inherited a business over the years, but you're doing great things in your community. And that's number one, and that's why you're one of our honorees, Linda Barreto, and on the show today here on Business Leaders Live. So that event coming up Thursday, December 5th at Chachansey Park at the Kodiak Club, where you'll be honored with 39 others. And I encourage everybody to go to the website 40, the letter U, 40.com to see the rest of the class. But your involvement beyond work is incredible. So I want to talk a little bit about that. How important is it to do what you do outside of work for your community?
Yeah, well, I definitely try to take every opportunity to educate the community. I do a lot of news segments, just know your rights, or talking about different areas of immigration law. Immigration law is actually my form of practice. And so I try to take those opportunities to educate the community and not only spread the message, but also the correct message. There's a lot of fear in our community. There's a lot of misconception in the community. And so I really try to take that opportunity to educate on the law and on the state of the law and what's going on here locally in Fresno. And so I find a connection with that population. My mom's an immigrant, and I just feel that I can connect really well with that population and try to do what's right. I mean, I think that everyone agrees that we want immigrants to have the proper documentation, but somebody needs to help them, and I feel that that somebody is me.
Yeah, to be able to bridge that gap and be able to educate and relieve their fears.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times the propaganda of news and media and even shows like this here on talk radio that it tends to, we attract our advertisers by sensational media. And there's so much of it. It is motivated, I think, a fear in someone that wants to do the due process to become a legal citizen of the United States, to be afraid and hide in the shadows and not talk to somebody about it or seek refuge and figure out what to do. And, I know some young people that have struggled with that, trying to figure out what do I do, and very smart, intelligent people that would be great citizens. So do you think that happens?
Oh, absolutely.
And it causes this fear?
It's absolutely happening, and it causes fear. It causes, it can incite rage in some people, and I understand that. because of the misconception in the community. And so, again, I just really try to take the opportunity to have those conversations and educate. So I teach immigration law, and at the beginning of the semester, I ask my students to just sort of give me their impression about immigration law and why they took my course. And then at the end, I have them do the same thing as well. And every single student that has come through my course has just sort of an epiphany and an enlightening moment about, I had no idea that the immigration law was this complex and that this was what was happening and that this is the way things go on. And so I hope that I can sort of multiply that into the community, even if it's through a short news segment or through talk radio or answering questions at a coffee shop. I mean, there's nothing more than I love than to talk about these types of issues and hopefully be a positive impact in our community. And then, apart from immigration law, my family and I also started the Amila Ray Foundation, which is a nonprofit. And this year we're doing a toy drive that will benefit a few other organizations in our community. And so I'm really excited about that and it coming to fruition next month in December.
How important is it to, if you're a business owner, and even before you reach success or you get named as one of the honorees in the 40 under 40, how important is it to give back to your community and be involved with that? And personally to you, how important?
Yeah, to me, it's the most important. It's so important because I feel like I owe everything to the community. I honestly would be nothing without the community. I received a public education. I went to Central Unified Schools, and then from there, I continued to a public university, UC Merced. I did go to law school at a private university, but that's only because that's the only one available in the Valley, and I wanted to stay local. And so I feel like we have to infuse the good in our community. And actually, the mission of the Amila Ray Foundation is share joy, just 2 words, share joy. And I really feel that we sort of get what we give. And so I want to continue to give back and to be a positive impact and hopefully inspire others, encourage others to do the same.
We're going to take a short break.
Yeah.
When we come back, Linda, I want to talk to you about the Amelia Ray Foundation and talk about the forming of that organization and the toy drive and what good the foundation is doing. We'll be right back. Don't go away. More here with Business Leaders Live on Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Hello, Facebook.
Hi, Facebook. We're still here.
We're still here, Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, and David can get those over to us. If you have any questions, just post that right there on Facebook Live. I'm going to share it because I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, would love to engage with people. I should share it too. Let me grab my phone.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Share it out there. So Talk Radio 1680. Where is it? There we go. Oh, got to turn my volume down. Alrighty. Perfect. Thank you, Facebook Live, for joining us here at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. Every Tuesday morning, make sure you like us here at Talk Radio 1680 KGED. I'm the best show on the whole
I know.
station.
I watch them all. You definitely are. You have the most interesting content.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Some of these shows on here are pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I just like the local Valley stuff.
Yes, me too.
Leaders, yeah.
I like celebrating wins and talking about the good stuff that people are doing here in the Valley and be able to encourage more of that and create more of that. And like you said, 2 words was your foundation.
Yeah,
what was
share joy.
Share joy.
Share
and mine's
joy.
creating connections. If
there
we
you
create
go.
connections, it just is, you see big things happen through those connections.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the 40 under 40, the reason I started it, and that's nothing unique. Every community across the United States has a 40 under 40. They're around the world. But this community wasn't celebrating the wins of some young people. They were in different segments, but they were within organizations, and you had to be within that.
Yeah.
I wanted to open it up to the whole Valley. Let's recognize people that I love it when you call them and you tell them about it, and they think, oh, there's somebody better. They immediately think that. Like there's somebody. And I said, good. I'm glad you said that because next year I want you to nominate them.
Yeah.
Because that's what's great about it. The honorees, when they're nominating other people from the past, the alumni people, it's just amazing to see they're giving and paying it forward, because they knew what that did for them when they had that event.
Yeah, I know. I've been really excited. I also know another 40 under 40 honoree, Christina Garabedian.
Oh, she's great. She
Yeah,
has a little nonprofit
she
about the
does.
little
Shoebox sharing.
shoebox sharing.
Mm-hmm.
She came on, I think, the first year that we were doing this, a
Yeah?
couple years back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's fun. She's
Yeah,
fun
she's
people.
really great, and she does a lot of great things in the community too. They also do a big blanket drive, and they do blankets. Yeah,
We got
can
10
take blankets.
seconds.
Yep.
The uh, yeah, she was talking about she has a big party and
Yes, yes, she's always
they open a
soliciting
bottle of wine and they start.
volunteers. Yeah, and actually, fun fact, she's also a great baker.
That's what she said. I
Yes,
remember
she
that.
makes all kinds of good.
Giving you the inside story of business leaders in the Valley and beyond. This is Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody, right here in the big studio, Talk Radio 1680 KGED. In studio, one of the 2019 honorees of the Business Streets 40 Under 40 on Thursday, December 5th at Chachansey Park in downtown Fresno in the beautiful Kodiak Club, the newly remodeled. Back in 2019, the owners of the Fresno Grizzlies really put $3.5 million into capital improvement with the relationship of the city of Fresno, and really you've done it right. And that stadium, if you haven't been there in a while, and you didn't catch a Fresno Grizzlies game last year,
Yeah.
you missed out. So 2020, you got to get down there and check it out. They've been proud supporters of the 40 under 40 the Fresno Grizzlies have, and even the city of Fresno has been very supportive too. And we're having a great event Thursday, December 5th, and anybody can come and attend. And like I said, the ultimate networking event, you go to 40, the letter U, 40.com, and get your tickets and come on out and have a great event. It's really like a big social networking event.
Yeah, I'm
And,
really excited.
yeah,
I can't wait to meet everybody.
A lot of fun. And
Yeah.
39 others, you can see them there at
I did.
40u40.com. So you get to read their little questionnaires, what their favorite movie is and book, and a little snippet of who you're going to meet that night.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really excited. 2 of the 40 under 40s of this year had the same favorite book. So now I've put that on my to read list and I hope to look into it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's what I love too. That's every year I look at that. And
Yeah.
I look at, ooh, that sounds interesting. I
Yeah.
got to check that out. It's
Always
like advertising.
looking for a good book. Yeah, it really is. Always looking for a good book.
And you find common ground, and I think that's what's great. In studio, Linda Barreto, and you're with San Joaquin College of Law. We talked about a little bit about your family being business owners and working. You work in immigration law,
Yep.
and I'm sure other parts of law as well, as most attorneys do.
Yeah.
You came from UC Merced. You were the inaugural class out of UC Merced, and very proud Bobcat.
I am.
So a lot of exciting stuff, and through your journey, you found a way to give back.
Yeah.
And talk about your foundation and how you formed your foundation and what you do today. You're doing a big toy drive, which is so important to give back to little ones and sometimes not so little ones too. We forget about the kids that are in there at 12, 13 years old and trying to figure life out. And,
Absolutely.
So those are amazing gifts that we can give back to our community. But talk about your foundation.
Yeah. So I have 3 children, and my youngest is Amila Ray. She was born in November 2017, but unfortunately, at just 5 months, on May 3rd, 2018, she passed away while just sleeping in her crib. So
So sorry.
it was a really, really tough year.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of resentment, frustration, anger, confusion.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why this would happen to me, to my family. Why me? I try to be a good person. I try to give back to my community. I go to church. I try to be the best mother, wife, friend, employee that I could be. And so it was a really, really, really tough time. I couldn't understand it. I didn't want to believe it. It was just the worst time in my life. And I found myself turning very bitter and jaded. And I thought, no, this isn't right. This isn't what I should do with this. And so my family and I, they really encouraged me to turn that channel that energy into something positive. And I remember one of my aunts, her name is Josie, and she actually recently passed from cancer as well. But I remember, and her voice resonates with me, she said, whenever you feel that way, turn that into something positive. When you feel that, those heavy feelings, those angry feelings, go play with your kids, go read a book, have a cup of coffee, do something that makes you feel better. And I thought, yeah, yeah. So I started to do small things that way. But what really made me feel the best was trying to put that back into my community in a positive way. And so through that, during Amila's first birthday last November, we had a big balloon release for her. And in lieu of flowers or gifts for us or for our family, we asked for people to bring toys. So that we could donate them to Toys for Tots. And we were able to collect about 100 toys. And so through that, the Amila Ray Foundation was born. And we got our nonprofit designation. We're a 501c3. And this year we decided to do a more local toy drive to benefit other organizations right here in our community. So we launched the Amila Ray Foundation. And to date, we've collected 314 toys. So we are going to give them back to EPU, which is Exceptional Parents Unlimited, and serves thousands of children here in the Central Valley. Loretta's Little Miracles, which is a daycare for medically fragile children, and to Poverello House. And through the Amelia Ray Foundation, we really hope to change our focus every year. So this year's toys, because Amila would have been 2, but next year we're thinking maybe books for early literacy, and as she grows, to kind of grow with her. So maybe when she would have started kindergarten, to do a backpack drive, and all the way through doing college scholarships when she would have been gearing up for college. And so it's a way for us to keep her spirit alive and well here. And even though it crushes me to not be able to have her physically with me, it's another way that I get to have her, and it's another way that I get to celebrate her. And so to me, it's really important on
Yeah.
both fronts.
God bless your aunt
Yeah.
for finding
Yeah.
a little bit of light at the end of a tunnel
Yeah.
and being able to give you the strength.
Yeah.
And you personally, Linda Briotto, to be able to come on the radio and tell a story like that. I mean, a parent couldn't fathom
Oh no. It's the worst.
or put that strength together. It's it's moving. It's moving.
Thanks. Yeah.
So that foundation and the good that it's doing, support it. Go out
Yeah.
and support it. And you take things that happen, and it makes me emotional because family is so important,
Yeah.
and you got to appreciate it because it could go away
Yeah.
at any moment,
Absolutely.
and you have to pull down that inner strength that you have, Linda, and be able to do something right. But God bless your hand for seeing that
Yeah.
and knowing that that's not you.
Yeah.
That you're gonna turn the corner and you're gonna be okay. But you needed a little something.
Yeah.
A
Absolutely.
little something from a family member that knows you well and knew that she could ignite that in you, and it's going to do great things and beautiful things. I want to be able to support it myself. I think
Yeah.
the Amelia Ray Foundation is was put together with love,
Yeah.
and it's going to spread love to many, many, many children. And as she progresses, she being the foundation through the years, I love the being able to see her grow through it
Yeah.
to do that. So amazing, and thank you for sharing that here on Business Leaders Live.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank you.
So the big toy drive, how does someone get involved with that? That's going on
Yeah.
right now with the foundation.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to have so much community support. So we currently have 2 more drop locations, toy drop locations locally. Dr. Peters and Dr. Croker's, who are OBGYNs near Herndon and Maple area. They have a physical toy drop box, as well as Wathen Castano's builders. And so they have one in their main corporate office off of Toll House Road in Clovis. And then you can also just donate directly through our website. Amila has an Amazon wish list. So if you go to amilaray.org, that's AMILAREY AmilaRay.org, you can click on Amila Ray's wish list and just get a toy delivered directly to Amila.
Oh, you even made
Yeah,
it easy.
super easy, super, hopefully we've tried to make it as easy as possible for people to get involved. And our initial goal was 200 toys, but we blew that out of the water and we saw that there's such a need. EPU would hope to get about 600 toys just for them. It would be fabulous if we could give them the 600 toys that they need, but of course they're happy to take anything that we can give them. So we tried to pick 3 different organizations that serve the community in different ways, and that's why we went through EPU, Loretta's Little Miracles, and then through Poverello House. So if people want to donate toys geared towards older children, even though Amila would have only been 2, we're also taking older children toys because Poverello House, as you noted, they have a big need for older kids like 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds. So even a soccer ball, a football, science kits, anything that you're called to donate, we are happy to take. The only thing that we ask is that they're new toys since they'll be given as gifts for these children during the holiday season. So yeah, you can visit one of our local toy donation sites, or you can even bring them to me at San Joaquin College of Law. We're near Old Town Clovis, and I'm happy to do that. We also have some people who have offered to help us pick up toys. So if you send us a Facebook message, we'll figure it out. We're going to try to make it as easy as possible.
And our producer, David Suarez, he'll make sure that he shares the information. We'll put it on Facebook Live. And I encourage you, everybody, you're listening on the radio, 1680 AM, and if you're joining us at Facebook Live at Talk Radio 1680 KGED, go there, share the story.
Yeah.
Share it and share it with as many people as you can. We'll post the information on there, and let's get those 600 toys.
Yeah,
let's
do
make
it.
sure we fill that need with Exceptional Parents Unlimited through the Amelia Ray Foundation, and be able to do that in honor of your daughter and what the foundation's all about. And love that you've shared that story and be able to empower other people too, that if it's something that you are going through that you think is the mountain is too high and I cannot get through this, you can get through pretty much anything. It's how you've dealt with it, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you found it.
I did, and I mean, it was tough, and I stopped working for some time, but through the community, through people like you and family, it's been uplifting.
Thank you for sharing your story. When we come back, I have the Boys and Girls Club on the line, another honoree.
Cool.
Kristen's going to be joining us, and stick with us, Linda, if you have a moment. We'll bring her on here when we come back,
Thank
here
you.
on 1680 KGED.
Sorry, we're talking to.
Is she on? Okay, she's on. Cool,
Okay.
Cool. So the
information's on the screen.
oh, it is cool. Oh, perfect.
Oh, nice. Yeah. AmilaRay.org. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, Facebook Live. So that's how, if you go to the link below, you can find out all the details.
Yes.
Love the idea that we can go to Amazon.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
We also have a PayPal button. Some people are like, I don't know what toy to pick. I just want to donate money. And of course, we will do good with that money as well. We're going to try to buy as many toys as we can to fill the need. So absolutely. PayPal, there's a Venmo. I mean, I have a whole team. My sisters.
Team of your sisters?
My sisters. A
Literally
team of
your
my
sisters? Or?
Literally my sisters. No, my literal true blood sisters. My sister Stephanie, she is a marketing and communications major. She works for Granville Homes through Amore. Amore is their nonprofit through the Granville Homes here, the builders. And so she works on their nonprofit team, and she's a genius at communication and marketing and things like that. So she's taken that on through our social media platforms, Facebook, all that. So yeah,
being able to get that out and have her go on there and share this and put the word out to everybody.
Absolutely.
Anything we can do to help.
Thank you.
And Kristen's going to be a real good. Whoop! I bumped the camera. Oops, we're okay. Okay. Kristen's going to be great. You'll hear from her here shortly.
Yeah.
I've worked with her before with the Boys and Girls Club. She's in your class.
Yeah.
And really excited, and just one of those that doesn't look for the recognition, just goes out there and does it.
Does the work.
Does it, and I think was probably pretty shocked that she's in the 40 under 40, and the great leadership of her boss there, Diane Carbray, which her and her husband is the ones that brought the Grizzlies to Fresno. And so great organization over
That's
there. And
so amazing.
maybe
Yeah.
there's something you do with them someday.
Yeah, well, we connected with them early this year, but because this year we were looking to target younger children, since
Yeah.
Anila would have only been 2. But yeah, we definitely have
For the
them on
future,
our list
yeah.
for future when, as we get older to fulfill their need, backpacks, shoes, coats, whatever.
Granville's real big with a bike giveaway.
Yeah, they do a bunch of things there.
Darius has done some
Yeah,
big stuff.
yeah, a big philanthropist at heart.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Big. That family is doing big things. Big
Are.
things.
They're
and there's
taking
always
over
something new.
Fresno.
Yeah, there's always something new. And when they do it, they go big or go home. They don't go home. They keep
Yeah.
going big.
Yeah, my sister loves working there. It's a really great place. They often provide lunch for employees and are very generous through the holidays. And I feel like they really value their employees there.
The value.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's why they're doing big things.
Yeah.
That's why it takes a team to get it done. And,
Absolutely.
And we'll talk when we come back. We'll chat with her. We probably got about 7, 8
Yeah.
minutes right in there.
Sounds good.
So intertwine. She's a little nervous.
Oh.
So Kristen, you're going to be fine. If you're listening to this on Facebook, you're going to be fine. She was so nervous. I'm going to just call her just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a big event coming up that she's going to
Oh.
talk about too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Hopefully. I mean, there's so many events through the holidays that it's kind of hard to pick which ones to go to.
Mm-hmm. This one's good. I think it's after the holidays.
Oh, good.
And I've been to it before.
Oh, cool.
10 seconds.
Okay.
Stay with us here, Facebook. We're on the radio here in about 5 seconds.
Here we go.
You are listening to Business Leaders with Lance Cardoza, the behind-the-scenes story of the business shakers and movers in the Valley and beyond. Once again, here's Lance Cardoza.
Welcome back, everybody. You can catch any of the past episodes of Business Leaders Live by going to lancecardoza.com or live right here on 1680 KGED each and every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. In studio, one of our honorees of the 40 Under 40, Linda Barreto, and on the phone, one of your fellow honorees,
Yes.
and she's in your class, the class of 2019, which will be celebrating on December 5th down at Chachansey Park, and you can go to 40 to see the whole class. But Kristen Saldivar, am I saying that right, Kristen?
Yes, Kristen Saldivar.
Saldivar with the Boys and Girls Club. We've worked together before, and you guys do amazing things for youth in our community. And I wanted to make sure she was nervous.
Yeah.
She was nervous, Linda, but she's going to be fine. I said, just call in for a little bit. But I'm so glad you were able to call in. But you have Youth of the Year coming up, and that's a big deal for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, absolutely. It's on January 23rd, and it starts at 5 p.m., and it's at our Zimmerman Boys and Girls Club location over on Belmont and Fresno Street. This is an amazing event where we highlight 8 youth, up to 8 youth in Fresno County over our 16 Boys and Girls Club locations. And so these teens, ages 15 and up, have really, identified their vision for America's youth, have given back to the community, have become role models and leaders in their clubs. And now we've come to the finalists, and they'll compete for a scholarship for $3,000 funded by me and Ed's Pizzeria. So it's an amazing opportunity. After they become the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year for Fresno County, they will go on to the Northern California competition. And it's just an amazing event to come to hear these stories about our youth from the Valley who have big dreams and had an amazing experience at the Boys and Girls Club.
And it's amazing to see some of the youth, and I've seen them that have gone on to do great things and become great leaders in our community. And on the radio, Linda Barreto and I were talking about a lot of how important it is to make a difference in your community, not only on what you're doing on your day-to-day, but Kristen, you're constantly making a difference in your community, and I think you're one of those unsung heroes that sometimes you're in there just grinding away, you're doing what you just know to do, and you're making a big impact in a young person's life. And
Thank you.
when you were nominated by, I believe, your boss, Diane Carbray, and she's the president, CEO, or she's the head honcho there. When she nominated you, I thought, oh, this is a great one, because here's a person that's like one of those unsung heroes that just go out there and you do what you need to do, and you make a big impact, and you go over and beyond. And I know everybody does down there at the Boys and Girls Club, but it's a passion of yours, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I actually grew up as a Boys and Girls Club member in the city of Firebaugh. So going to the club at age 10, and my mom was an employee there, it hits home for us. So I see the kids' face. I see myself in the kids' faces every day.
That's beautiful. And you were nervous to come on the radio. You got a great story.
Yeah. Thank you, Kristen. You're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
Amazing
Thank
things.
you.
So you guys will be able to meet each other that night with 38 other
Yeah.
honorees for that class of 2019's 40 under 40. Again, if you're listening to the radio or Facebook, go to 40, the letter U, 40.com, and David will be able to post that on Facebook Live, and also we'll put it up at lancecardoza.com. But beat the class. Meet the class and come out and see this great award ceremony. And Kristen, when you got the phone call, and just like Linda, they all think it's they're being pitched something. But what was it like when you got that phone call? You thought, well, what is this?
Well, for one, it was a familiar name. So you and I had worked together about a decade ago on a gang prevention project that was pretty amazing. And so there was that I felt comfortable. And Rico Guerrero had been a former colleague of mine, and he received it, and I always look up to him. And
great 40 under 40, Rico.
Yes, I was familiar with the award, and I was overwhelmed. I couldn't believe that I fell into the category, so I'm humbled.
Yeah, well, you didn't fall into the category. You earned every bit of it, and I think Diane hit the nail on the head when she put that nomination in.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be great, and very excited to have you on December 5th. And thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling in on the show.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Don't go away. I'm still in studio with Linda. But Linda, I love stories like that. I love it. She grew up in the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
And it could have
gone either way.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes kids get left behind. Sometimes in a situation get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
And really, when we did the gang prevention commercial, I filmed a commercial and put it together. It was tagging commercial, and how it led to not tagging itself, but finding a sense of family.
Yeah.
And that's really where a lot of times the gang get started, to where they get into that lifestyle because they're looking for that sense of family.
Yeah.
They're looking for something.
Well, I think even just her story is such a testament that she loved it so much that she wanted to continue to be involved with it and do what was done for her to others. And just like she said, she sees herself in the children. And that's just a great thing for everybody, for all of us, because it makes such a difference.
It does. It makes a big, big difference. And I'm glad Diane Carberry nominated her. And
Me
that's
too.
the other person, the unsung heroes I talk about all the time are the nominators.
Yeah.
I hope they all come out and celebrate with their 40 under 40, because they're sometimes not honorees of the past.
Yeah.
They're sometimes just going, this person needs to be recognized.
Yeah.
And they're doing big things in our community, and it's time. It's time for them.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm sure Linda Barreto with San Joaquin College of Law, you're thinking about 2020 class and about some honorees that you can nominate there at 40u40.com.
Yeah, I really am. There's just, like you said at the top of the hour, there's so many people here that are making such a positive impact, and I think that highlighting them inspires others and also inspires them to keep doing what they're doing, to show that they're doing the right thing, that they're seen.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you for sharing your personal story.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in on your busy day. And everybody go out. I encourage you, go to Facebook, make sure you get all the details, and donate a toy to the foundation, Amelia Ray Foundation. Thanks again. That's all the time we have. Thank you.
It was fun.
Next Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., I bring you another edition of Business Leaders Live. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.
Facebook, thank you so much. But please
Thank
share
you,
it.
Facebook. Yeah, please
Share
share
it.
the story.
Everybody on Facebook, share it. And I got to say, my godfather, he's the biggest character in our whole family, but Danny Cardoza, former quarter horse jockey.
Oh, wow.
He's about yay tall. If he
Oh,
was standing
wow.
here, you wouldn't even see him. No,
Oh,
no, he's not that short. But we love to play with him all the time. But Danny Cardoza was watching earlier, and Uncle Danny, thank you so much. We're going to see you Christmas, and he's a lot of fun.
hi, Uncle Danny.
Hi, Uncle
Yeah.
Danny. Yeah, he's a lot of fun. Oh, he would be. He's a character.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of fun when you're around Uncle Danny. Thank you for joining us, everybody, and I'm sure your family is going to be able to see this too. And you
Yeah.
were a great guest. Thank you for
Thanks.
coming on the show, and
It
I'll
was
see
great.
you. See you
Fast hour. It went by
Yeah.
so quick.
Goes quick.
Yeah, it does.
Thursday, December 5th. We'll see you.
then. Yep.
Alrighty.
Can't
Thanks,
wait.
everybody.